Welcome to the 2025 Dialogue, a masterclass series by the HR Association of India. I am Neha Jagnani, and today's session focuses on a subject that has become critical for individuals, leaders, and organizations alike. Today's topic is From Click to Catastrophe: Cybercrime and Security for Organizations. To guide us through this important and timely conversation, we are joined by Dr. Raina Khatri Tandon, CCIO, organizational safety expert, international professional speaker. Dr. Raina is the founder and CEO of Right to Rise, an RKT Foundation, India's first ISO certified end to end solution provider for POSH, POXO, DEI, ESG, and human rights solution. A 5-time TEDx speaker with over 2 decades of experience and 2 PhDs spanning AI and human psychology, she has impacted 2.5 lakh plus lives across 400 organizations. A certified cybercrime investigation officer and advocate for cyber safety and DPDP compliance, her work has been recognized with Exceptional Woman of Excellence, Rex Karamveer Awards, and Nari Shakti Samman 2024. Dr. Raina, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Neha, and the entire team of HRAI. This dialogue means a lot to people out there who undergo a lot more than what we are to provide them as value. So happy to be here and provide this intimate space. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much. Looking forward to this exciting masterclass, Dr. Raina. So to begin with, my first question for you is, what are the most common cybercrime tactics being used today, and why do people still fall for them?
Right. Cybercrime and its introduction comes from way back when we started using devices. And I think we have been using devices like more than 10 decades, if I have to say. We started with as small as using an computer or a chip or anything that comes in the form of a desktop. So these crimes are not something that we are not used to. But let's see what are the crisp illegal activities and why are cybercrime involved with these. So anything that involves a device, a network, a digital unit, anything that we are targeting as systems, for example, like banks, financial institutions, anything that is coming from the BSC, NSC, and any form of data disruption, data theft, any form of activity that happens between two parties, any kind of intent that is involved where you are trying to change something from the normal, then you have cybercrime occurring. So it's not only dealing with money, but today it is with information, with data, with frauds, with financial gains, with anonymity of people, with their identity, with individual reach, with hacking them and working on their leads or their clients, on their information that their stakeholders have, or any other organized form of threats, attacks that people feel will reduce the confidence of the company, the organization, or the individual. So it's way beyond just knowing that it will happen through a computer and happen only in certain form. Now, what are the different ways you asked, or what are the different forms of cybercrime? Some of them to mention is phishing, scamming, wishing, which is all through video and video clicks, sensitive data that is shared by videography, social engineering that involves manipulation of identity thefts, Facebook profiles, fear of authoritative people misusing the bypass securities, any kind of email etiquette not followed, password threats, improper usage of fraud data on any social media channels or any e-commerce based websites, malicious softwares, viruses, ransomware, and so many more. So today we have across more than 50 forms of cyber crime tactics that people can use. They can be trickily using and working on malicious code, on software, on disrupting services, or causing any kind of frauds in the form of money or in the form of attacks that can affect your systems or personal data breach for that matter.
Sure. Very informative, Dr. Raina. So as you said, more than 50 forms, more than 50 tactics are there, but the most commonly known, I think audiences will be able to relate, is phishing, scamming, video links, social engineering, mostly happening on e-commerce website, email etiquettes, as you mentioned, and malicious links, to name a few. So thank you so much for that. Moving on to the next question, Dr. Raina. What early warning signs indicate a cyber breach or cyber fraud before real damage occurs?
Okay, so this is like asking prevention before cure, but uh, authentically, we can't be always sure what's going to happen to us. So, some of the warning tips or the warning signs which might hit your head just before you're going to click. Like, I'll just ideally share a client who just called in yesterday. He's a good friend of mine. He was talking something on stocks and cryptos and the markets which are evolving over a period of time. And he said sometimes even a small transaction of people exchanging money. So he had asked somebody to
Hmm,
sign up for a course.
sure.
And very, very simply, we just say, okay, either you pay through an Mojo or a GPay or an account transfer, and you can start learning on the course. Very simple transaction. Okay. So the person said, okay, the cost is say in 2 digit. Let me just start by paying a small amount of say 5,000 rupees. So that 5,000 rupees and the additional money that he had to pay, he said he will do by GP. So he goes to the GPay number, he does something on the GPay, and there is just a message on the GPay coming 5,000 credited.
Okay.
Now, anybody who sees the message on GPay will understand that 5,000 is credited. And his phone was actually in his family member's hand. He was driving. So he did not go back to his bank account or to any of his SMS to check did he get the amount, because the message in the GPay said 5,000 credited. So
Okay.
in the jiffy of the moment, because you're driving, because you're somewhere out, you will just understand that 5,000 is credited, right? And the minute he said, okay, now I have got the initial bit, you can pay the rest of the amount. The person said that, the rest of the amount I will pay through another mode. But meanwhile, if you can send me, some kind of proof that this is a company and other things. So you please send me your details on GPay in terms of what is the, some kind of info material about the company in the form of Aadhaar, PAN or something, just to ensure that he's paying. Now, we generally don't share anything on GPays or WhatsApp when we are dealing with professional transactions. And this person also said, because I'm driving, let me come back to you soon. But the minute he got off his seat and he got down, he saw that there is no money that is credited in the bank, nor there is an SMS. And immediately he tried telling him that there is no money coming. This person doesn't pick up the call. The person doesn't appear on GPay, doesn't appear on anywhere. And then he thought it's a fraud.
Hmm.
Okay. So any unusual activity that you realize, first you need to be vigilant. Any unusual things that you have people conversing, for example, if they are to pay, then you have to be very clear that it goes directly into a secured form of money activity. So unusual logins, if you get some messages from the banks, if you're logging in somewhere and or if you have not logged in somewhere and somebody says you're logging in into your accounts, into your locations, where are you going, where are you coming, your social media in and outs, unexpected system behavior, if you have lock systems for your company, for your organizations, whenever you are walking up from your desk to even use the washroom, your laptop has to be locked, because sometimes people can quickly come and maybe cause an unwanted activity from your laptop to some other maybe vendor or client. Passwords have to be set very clearly. So unfamiliar passwords or some form of hacking into your password. So these are some amount of red flags. Unauthorized access, locked accounts that can be hacked, email irregularities, no emails coming from certain people, suddenly no messages coming from some bank, device of a system going slow. So if there is a ransomware or a malware that's inside your system will start appearing low, slow performance, any kind of messages pops up. Sometimes you will get some bombarded messages on your phone and you will feel, oh, these are some hacking messages coming to me. Before even doing anything, these are some indicators that tell you maybe your system is hacked. getting somebody to say that maybe somebody has asked for money, which is something very commonly asked. Some person comes to you on social media and says, oh, somebody's asked me money on your behalf. Abnormal admin activity, data tampering. If you see that certain files are not there where they're supposed to be, securities are, blocked, phishing, scamming. So some people create also Facebook profiles, identity profiles, social media profiles, spamming into your text mails and into your newsletters, fake alerts that are coming to you, financial alerts from the credit card statements guys, from your phone bill guys, from your internet providers, service providers, any kind of providers that you are getting, whether it's gas or electricity or any bills that you pay, those providers, getting unauthorized transactions or something that you haven't paid or something that they're expecting you to pay. What is it about? Please check these financial clues, communication clues, anomalies that are happening in the systems, new scams coming up. Keep reading. So these will give you some kind of indicators that you don't do frauds when they are going to happen.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Anna. Truly, I think so. It all actually boils down to the fact that you have to be aware in order to notice those unusual things. Now, the fact as simple as that we use WhatsApp very often now, so we don't focus too much on the SMSs that we are receiving. So we tend to miss out on so many such things. But if we are more vigilant, as you rightly said, things can be taken care of before it goes out of hands.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for that. My next
Wonderful.
question, Dr. Rena, is how do cybercrime investigations typically begin, and what digital footprints do attackers often leave behind?
Uh, so how do cybercrime investigations begin? Of course, we are now talking in the open space where there are people who are attackers also, people who are scammers also, and people who are individuals and organizations who are going to hear this.
Hmm.
We just probably need to know the basic of how this footprint generally is left behind, one, and how does a cybercrime investigation start. For the basic understanding for anybody who undergoes crime, what is the step by step that anybody would help them in?
Okay.
So, one, whenever you have any fraud happening or any unwanted activity, the first thing is to report it. Generally, we say go on to social media if social media has been hacked, or if somebody is asking for money laundering tips, or if a Facebook profile is hacked, if you have identity theft happening, if you have some kind of other online, offline frauds, phishing happening, scamming happening, or even malicious malware attack. The first thing is to cut off from that system. First thing is to block, report, and let the authorities know. Facebook has their own system. Instagram has their own system. Any social media has their own systems. Credit cards, debit cards, they have their own system. Stop the scams by informing the banks. So first thing is to report an incident. Who is it happened to? Who is the victim? Is it an individual? Is it an organization? What has been the proactive threat? Who is the law and enforcement body that you need to inform? So, apart from those individual bodies that you have checked the security terms and conditions with, like a Facebook or an Instagram or a Twitter or a LinkedIn or any other media, let them know, block, report, and tell them what has happened. Same way, go to the police or the cybercrime cell and inform and report. The first thing is to report. By reporting, what are you saying is you're informing every other person who might also undergo the same scam to become alerted. So, incident detection and reporting is the first stage. Second, initial assessment, checking whether it's actually happened. So, going back to the law department, going back to the police, going back to the forensics, letting them know what is the information you know, what has happened, and letting them analyze, assess whether things are actually happened with evidence, with witness, with whatever you have shared as case investigative points.
Right.
Third is securing the entire zone. So stop using any of those things that are happened at the criminal digital crime scene. Whether you're using the same laptop or the desktop or the phone or the device or the iPads or the credit cards, debit cards, anything that you're using, or even your information security system of your, please stop it from the communication network and try to analyze what was instilled into it for it to come. So that only person who's a cybercrime expert can come and detect what has come. Have you clicked something very malicious? That is why something happened. And fifth and last, evident identification and preservation. So how much of data is lost? How much of data can you preserve? How much of data is gone? How much of data can you get back? What is the potential way by which things can be obtained back, and creating an exact methodology of not losing? So what are the digital footprints? Some things that people leave behind or offenders leave behind is they don't know that maybe an IP can be tracked back. An attacker can be got or caught from the point of contact from where he's doing. Sometimes it is from a jumping system. So network logs, system logs, from where did it log in, where did it log out? What are the metadata that we have, the emails, the files, the documents, any kind of internalized systems, communication records that have happened, who has come into the system, logged out of the system, during that interval of time, how many people were sitting in that system, any deleted files, residual files, anything that we can get back rather than completely wiping off. So there are tools to get fragmented data, what have been lost, even including phones and other things. Cryptocurrency hacks, again, there are systems to hack even in those financial frauds. There will be some trail, some fingerprint somewhere on the digital media the person would have left. But yes, even on the social media, there will be proof of people trying to reach out to you, or they would have checked what are the different kind of posts, what you're making, the interactions, where do you go, who do you meet, what locations you have gone. So, tracing back can get an idea of what could have happened. Yet, because digital hackers have also become very smart, and the system has also become very smart, very difficult to share on the social interface of how these things actually happen back end. But this is the overall purview for you to understand that it is possible and very much viable, because person who is offending will 100% leave some kind of footprint. And it's not really nice for us to see that this is a good thing to happen. But yet, the more vigilant we become, the more aware and conscious we become of using our devices and our networks, along with the system software hacks, the viruses, the data protection, updating all our systems, keeping everything up to date with the licenses that will allow no other person to hack into our data.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much for beautifully breaking it down, the investigation part and also the footprint. I think the crux of it is acting quickly, also keeping in mind the steps you said, reporting it, blocking it, initial assessment, evidence identification. So even if there are footprints, you can jump onto it quickly without wasting any time. So thank you so much for that. My next question, Dr. Anna, is what everyday cyber habits unknowingly increases personal or organizational risk?
Wow. So, as founders, as leaders, as directors, as people on the hierarchy level or the C-suite leaders, they might always want their system to be safe. But what are the steps that they take in their entire system that keeps your ecosystem safe at the end of the day? Okay. One is setting rules, regulations, letting to know what needs to be done. But two is also the implementation part. So it's not enough if you just probably let them know these are the rules, these are the policies, these are the data protection. For example, we have a very strong labor law codes come up. We have great data protection, data rights, DTDPR Act, which has been upgraded in 2025. So it gives all these step-by-step instructions of how organizations are to follow certain quality management systems, certain aspects where data has to be protected. But any form of poor practices by any one individual can cause a data hack. Okay, so the key to this is breach cannot happen, should not happen if human error is minimal. If we are taking care of certain actions stemming from awareness, leading to serious, bits that we should not be doing, because with the minute we tell people, don't do this, they will be more curious to do it. Okay, so let's stop the increase in the cybercrime by following some key facts. So I'm just going to list down 4 or 5 things that we can quickly do. Okay, the things that or cyber habits that people avoid, and that's why we overcome these security measures, is because of poor password practices. We keep iterating people to have good password practices. What kind of good passwords we will see probably in the next question, in case we are able to see what should be the right practices that we are doing. But poor password practices should be avoided. Don't use any weak passwords. Don't use small passwords. Don't use passwords that people might know from your date of birth or from your name. Don't use passwords that people might guess easily. Don't use vulnerable, guessable, editable passwords which are open to vulnerability. Okay. Two, failure for phishing scams. Downloading any attachments, unnecessary clicking on links. Please look at from where is it coming. What is the point from where it has been initiated? The pop-up comes in. When we are using passwords, at the same time, 90% of cyber attacks are only through phishing emails. It might come into your office email box. It might come into your personal email box. But we all know opening any kind of personal email box is not allowed. Any kind of pop-ups that are coming other than your internal systems is not allowed, and ignoring any form of software updates, any kind of virus updates, any kind of malware updates which are internally set by your IT systems. So poor operational system, poor kind of protection systems can allow easily the hackers to come and solve it. So okay, we are not sitting in probably a high level safety system like a police and air force and army and navy or defense systems, but we also know that our data is to be taken care by us. And finally, the Wi-Fi networks. If you are open to any Wi-Fi networks, social media networks, traveling at the coffee shop, maybe at the airport, maybe at a quick, you're not able to hack your own, sorry, you're not able to open your own systems and you quickly want to make some payments somewhere when you're out. Be rest assured, no open network, no Wi-Fi network in the public is secured. It's mostly unsecured. And it very clearly tells you unsecured Wi-Fi network. So leaving any device unattended, getting into those systems and trying to do something very critical, and some using an unauthorized access or using some other system to use that unauthorized access in that and doing your work of your company is a complete no-no.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so these are some of the things, but sensitive data is only due to inappropriate handling. So how do you give it out to your people, or not ensuring safety is completely in the organization hands? So I'm sure all companies are maintaining great protocols, but little hacks might help.
Sure, sure. So just to summarize, Dr. Raina, poor password practices can be avoided. Avoiding downloading unnecessary attachments or software updates. Then thing to keep in mind is your data is your responsibility. So handling it with responsibility. Then Wi-Fi connections is not secure at all. I think the hackers out there, they are just waiting for people to make that one simple mistakes, which people normally do in rush, as you rightly said, making payments, and also you have to be mindful of not connecting to the Wi-Fi networks which are unsecure. So thank you so much. This brings us to the last question, Dr. Raina, which is what practical cyber safety measures can individuals and organizations adopt to reduce cybercrime exposure? It is pretty much linked to the previous questions, but some practical measures that people can relate to and can easily follow.
So before I give you those final tips, I'll share this little story. Sometimes we might do the best of things. We might have the best of viruses. We might have the best of software. We might not access from outside. We might also update our software, viruses, licenses, everything up to date. And we will not be using any inappropriate sensitive data of client or vendor or encrypted from any device. So there's no possibility of data leak, or there's no possibility of a cybercrime or an attack or a fraud. But sometimes we are not vigilant about devices that come from outside. So, in the world of probably professional speaking, I'm a international professional speaker. I'm also a trainer, coach, facilitator. I'm also somebody working in governance, ethics. So I work across governments. I work across NGOs, schools, college institutions, organizations, factories, and on international speaking platforms. And I've realized when we are going to these places to present in any form of facilitating, talking, speaking, we don't realize sometimes we are using outside devices to plug in, or if a tech fails, like if you're at an AI conference and I'm talking, and if the tech fails, then you would probably somebody would say, hey, do you have a hard disk or do you have a pen drive? Do you have some kind of an equipment which can voice record your stuff because your phone is not recording? Maybe you don't have space, so why don't I record it? And you're getting some other file from there. You're plugging in a device either from your laptop to somebody else's laptop or a pen drive that belongs to somebody else into yours. This is suspicious activity. Unless you are very sure that the data inside that is completely safe, completely hack free, completely virus free, then or no malware, no ransomware, do not plug in it or do not allow somebody to use your data because that can leak from anywhere. Point number two, data is the new gold. You cannot stop from keeping your data safe unless you are consciously aware. For example, you go to your phone bill centers to pay your bills, your data is shared. You walk on the street and you are filling umpteen number of forms, whether it is a Club Mahindra or any other club voucher, or even if you're going to a building to meet your client, at the entry, you enter your data. So your data is entered everywhere, from the doctor to the clinic, to the phone bill, to the electricity bill, to your clients, to your vendors, to where you come, to where you go, to where you check in, to where you check out, on your social media, on your hotels, on the hospitality place. Everywhere you go, your data is out there. What do you really want to write, whether it's your name, your email, your address, your phone number, or any other details, is up to you. Do not start entering everything everywhere. You are releasing your data everywhere. Even your Aadhaar, your PAN, your DigiLockers, all these have your data. Where are you sharing to who? If you need another document today, for example, you want to create your child's birth certificate, or you want to get your child to your 12th or the degree, you share your details as Aadhaar and PAN there. But whom are you sharing? Are they credible sources? What are they going to do with it? Is also the need of the hour. Right. Ensuring that it is in safe hands is the need of the hour. Aadhaar is a very common document that we open up and give everybody, and so is our credentials as an employee or even as our bank documents. But are we giving it to the right people, and what are they doing it with them? How is it shared further? That is something you should be concerned about. So cybercrime is just another form of crime which doesn't happen physically but on the online. But data is still the same. So I'm just saying, if you want to stop any of these, your password should be at least 16-digit long, combination of numbers, digits, hashtags, any kind of special symbols. Wherever you share your data, be very careful. What are you sharing? If not relevant, just share what is required. Any kind of cyber activity, unwanted clicks, unwanted, do not click them. Even if they are repeatedly coming, let them go for some time till you feel they subside, or if it is relevant, then report it and let the relevant activity, relevant bodies, relevant organization take the steps. And finally, any kind of transaction that we take, it should always be multi authentication factor done. MFA, multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication, just like a bank, just like a DigiLocker, just like any places where you go, all your multi-factor, it should be a password protected with an OTP, with your email, all enabled. And do not use any social media, any outside units, any Wi-Fi's, anything that come from outside. Keep your system updated with the latest license, latest antivirus, latest softwares, apps, OS, so that they don't allow vulnerable systems to be hacked. And beyond that, be safe, be calm, be vigilant, keep your eyes open, and see that all your data is safe for your payments, for your clicks, for your social media handling, and wherever you're using in terms of a system being involved. So that's about it. I think all of us know what to do with our data and keep ourselves safe. Cybercrime is just a word. If it has been handled well, then unexpected things do not happen. And if you're skeptical about it, always ask before you click.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. The takeaways from this answer are very fundamental yet very imperative. Some things that we do casually, filling forms everywhere, asking for external devices, pen drive, at our disposal. So these are very basic yet very important, and are perhaps the crucial moments where we give control to external parties or people. So thank you so much for bringing this up, and this brings us to the end of this masterclass, Dr. Rena. The insights were thought provoking, eye opening, and you have reminded us today that cyber safety is just not about technology. It's about being aware. It's about building systems that protect people with integrity and intent. So thank you so much for your insights today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and it was wonderful to share. I hope this is useful to all the organizations out there. Thank you, HRA. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr.
Have a
Rena.
good day.
Have a good day. Thanks a lot.